is it if I believe that eventually hell will be empty or
No,
will be destroyed?
we cannot make the belief what we want it to be. We have to submit ourselves to a
Okay.
creator. And it's not our rules. Allah made the rules, right? Allah will not send anybody to Jahannam, to the hellfire that's not deserving of it. Remember, Allah is just.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead. Yeah.
Hello there. Thank you everybody for letting me join the live stream. I'm very happy to be here. Uh, Brother Uthman, I was following your YouTube channel and I really like the content that you do. So I've been researching like about the like Islam for like a while, and it all, to be honest, it really like does make sense to me overall when you compare Islam and Christianity. Islam really makes sense to me way more by a long shot. Said today, but I have a question that's kind of about the
Alhamdulillah.
salvation.
Go ahead.
So, I I've been struggling with this for a really long time, and this is the only thing that's stopping me from really like embracing it fully. I just don't understand how. Well, it's actually a two-part question. So the first part is I don't understand how in both Islam and in Christianity, we say that God is merciful and he's all merciful and all loving and stuff, but then he would send somebody to hellfire eternally just because they had the wrong faith or they disagreed with him. That's my
Sure.
first part of the question, and then the second part of the question is, as Muslims probably and Christians also believe this as well. How do they reconcile, like, you know, you have the whole free. I understand you have the whole free will thing, but God knew
Mhm.
everything. So like, if it was His plan
Excellent.
all
Good.
along, then don't the non-believers? Isn't it not fair that they don't really have a chance because He
Excellent.
didn't have a choice
Those
and
are
then
really
they
good
got sent
questions.
to hell forever
And
because God knew that this was going to happen. But more so, the first part of the question has been
Captain,
really troubling me. Like I heard
I
in
got you.
Sunni.
I'll get you on both. Don't worry about it. So,
Sorry, can I just
really
say this
quickly,
last thing?
Captain, because
I heard in
go ahead.
Sunni theology, there's like an opinion that. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead,
Opinion
Sheikh.
that,
Hello.
okay. Yeah, go ahead. You said an opinion that,
Now, I think we'll keep it short. So he's already asked two
okay.
questions. So I
Okay.
think let's go
So,
with that,
Captain,
inshallah.
first thing, before I answer your questions, and I will answer both, inshallah, in a brief manner. If I do answer them today, are you willing to take the Shahada with us live? Can you hear me?
There's a question for you, Captain. Are you there?
Sorry, I'm not able to hear you.
Okay. I said, if I am able to answer those
Yeah,
two questions, and that's the
I,
only thing holding you back,
I
are you
can hear
willing to
you.
take the Shahada now? Can you hear me now? No?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah,
excellent. So now let me give you the answer now.
absolutely.
First, how can all
Yes.
loving, how all merciful God send somebody to hell? Well, let me just ask you this, Captain. If I worked for you and you hired me, and you were a really great boss, you were really, you helped me out, you got me food every day, you gave me a very good salary, I wasn't even deserving of it, and you gave me a promotion, and you did all of that. And after all of that, my work that I was supposed to do for you as a company, I take that work and I go give it to somebody who did nothing for me, a competitor, somebody else down the street who doesn't even have the technology that you have. But I take everything that I was supposed to do for you and I go give it to them. Would you keep me as an employee or would you fire me?
Oh, I would definitely fire you doing the work I told you to do.
So now, being a very compassionate,
I would fire
great
you.
boss, a very good person, excellent. So now, even though you're a great boss, you're very compassionate, you were very helpful, you were very nice, you were you're the best boss, but you would still fire me. And I can't be like, oh my God, how could you fire me? You're so mean. No, you didn't fulfill, I did not fulfill the responsibility that you gave me after all the chances that you gave me. Allah created us to worship Him. That is the reason we were created. That jinn and ins were created for the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah gives us all the opportunities. He gives us signs. Even if you're born in a non-Muslim house, look, how many signs have you been given? You got to those videos, you watched them, you got on the show, you got to ask, you got to hear these answers. Allah is giving these opportunities. Everybody gets those opportunities. And if you still refuse to give Allah His right, then how can you assume that you will get that everlasting paradise and that prize without doing what you were supposed to do? Clear?
Sorry, could you repeat that last part, please?
So, just as the example that I gave you, you said,
please?
Sure. If we do not fulfill the purpose of why we were created, to worship Allah, to know Allah, to believe in none but Allah, and we then worship idols and people and things that are not our creator, that didn't give us life, that didn't give us this opportunity, if we don't fulfill that, then how can we get the prize? And the prize is Al-Jannah. When you fail this core responsibility of why you're here, even after the mercy, Allah sent us messengers, Allah sent us books, Allah sent us du'at, Allah sent us opportunities, health issues to wake us up, corona and all these things to make us realize that we have greater purposes in life, that Allah has all the power. With all of that, if we still reject our core responsibility, then just like the boss that even being merciful will have to fire you, Allah will punish us with the hellfire. That is Allah has warned us of that. The price is Al-Jannah. To get there, you have to have that belief and you have to do what's right. And if you don't do that, then it would not be just for everybody to get to Jannah, while some people are praying and fasting and doing all of that, other people just out there drinking and doing whatever. So that is the justice, that is the mercy of Allah, that He gives us so many opportunities that a person who has even a little bit of want to follow the truth will find it. I want to get to your second question about qadar, right? About free will.
So I just want to clarify something, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
Sorry, can I, before we move to the second question, can I clarify something? I just want to say, I personally, I do believe in God, Allah, and
good,
and I do believe, like, in Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him.
You're
like
Muslim.
like just to myself, but I don't understand, like, it's not that I don't believe, it's just I don't understand, and like it's a bad taste in my mouth that, like, I'm worshiping a God that, like, is like or like I'm believing in a God that's like just accidentally do something wrong. Or sorry, let me rephrase that. Like, I believe in a God that, like, we're talking about forever. Like, that's the problem I'm having.
Sure.
Like, okay, that's
but
some people are going to go to the hellfire, right? And they're going to serve their time or something. But that's why I wanted to ask you: Is it okay if I believe?
The issue is that if
I believe empty?
You believe in what?
Is it if I believe that eventually hell will be empty or will be destroyed? Is that okay if I believe that?
So again, Captain, the issue is
because the idea of forever is just what scares me, and it's I feel like it's
let me explain.
Like, doesn't that be pointless?
Sure,
that's what I'm trying to get at.
I got you. We cannot make the belief what we want it to be. We have to submit ourselves to a creator. And it's not our rules. Allah made the rules, right? Allah will not send anybody to Jahannam, to the hellfire, that's not deserving of it. Remember, Allah is just. So those people, like, I'll give you an example. My stepfather, he was not Muslim, he was a reaver. Okay, his mother, so my step grandmother, she was very staunchly in her own beliefs. Like she wasn't like anti-Islam, but she was like, look, you have your beliefs, I have my beliefs. And her whole life, she kept to her own beliefs. But she was a very good person in the sense she was very hospitable and so on. At the time of her death, when she was in the hospital, my mother was sitting with her, and my mother told her, look, you know that God is not a man. You know this is true. And at the time of her death, she said, yes, I know this. And my mother told her, then say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. And she said it at the time of death. And Allah, because of that little want for guidance, Allah, even at the time of death, Allah guided her. And a few hours after that, she died. Right? So if somebody has even a little bit of a want for the guidance, Allah will open that way. But if somebody doesn't care, they don't want to know the truth, they don't want to know why Allah created us, they use the air that Allah created, they breathe it, and then they go and burn Qur'ans, they live the life that Allah has given them, and then they curse the prophets, they go make cartoons and these kinds of things. If somebody knows, because they see the miracles in front of them of the sun and the moon and birth
Yeah.
and the human body,
That's
and
bad.
they deny,
That's bad.
thank you. Exactly. So those are the people that will be in Jahannam, because Allah has ordained that for them. But people that want guidance, Allah will always make a way for them, like you today here. Secondly, about Qadar. And it's a very deep concept. We've got a lot of videos on it. I'm not going to go deep here, but I'll give a very simple answer. There is two aspects to Qadar, according to the belief of the Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. One concept is the knowledge of Allah. Allah is Alim. He knows everything. Nothing is new to Allah. We believe in this, right? But that does not mean that Allah forces us to do actions against our will. We are not robots, okay? We have been given a choice in something. Like, okay, we don't have a choice when we're born, right? But in those things that we don't have a choice, we will not be questioned for. If you're born with black eyes or blue eyes or green eyes, or in the 70s or the 2000s, you will not be benefited or harmed for that. The things that you will be questioned for is where you have a choice and you will make that choice. You can today take the Shahada, be Muslim, or you can not. It's up to you. It's your choice. But you will be questioned for that. But you will not be questioned that, why were you born in a Christian household? No, but Allah gave you that chance, right? So Qadar is not forced on you, but Allah knows everything. That is from the sifat of Allah. But Allah doesn't force a kafir to be a kafir or a sinner to be a sinner. They make that choice. Clear?
Yeah.
Khalas. Now we're ready for the Shahada, Captain?
Really, it's really breaking up.
So,
brother, I don't know.
You can watch the videos I have on Qadr later, but basically, you are not forced to sin. You make that choice. Allah knows your choice,
I think it's
but
really
that's just the knowledge of Allah.
Yeah. I think, Captain, if you got any more questions, if you can send us your contact detail, and
yes,
maybe
so I understand that question, but I'm trying to understand, like, somebody. Sure. Where do I put them?
Okay, Captain. First off, you can email Dawahwise.
Where do I put my contact details? I guess.
Dawahwise, DAWHWISE @gmail.com. You can send them.
Give us your contact details. We can send details of Sheikh Uthman, inshallah, to have a conversation with you, and you can, inshallah, like you said, you already believe in Allah, you already believe in the last messenger, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so you are already a Muslim. I think your concern is with regards to the eternal hellfire, and don't forget there's also eternal paradise.
Yeah.
So if you're a Muslim, I think that is what you really have to also focus on. So inshallah,
Captain,
leave your contact details with us, and we'll take it from there, inshallah, because we got other guests.
I just don't want to commit to something I don't know, like, everything about,
Inshallah, email, and we'll keep in touch, inshallah.
Inshallah, yes.
We'll do your Shahada next show, inshallah.
All right, thank you, Captain.
Just want to make a quick point here. I think this is maybe something we have for Captain here.
Thank you guys so much.
Captain, before you go,
thank you.
Before you go, very briefly, just want to make a comment here. You see, there are many people with different kind of feelings and understandings. There are people who can't stand the suffering of animals, for example. They can never think themselves a vegetarian. But the reality is differently. I mean, you're not made, in your physical makeup to be vegetarian. You've got canine teeth, you've got, digestive enzymes in your body which to utilize meat and so on. So our emotions often can let us think differently and move differently and have different kind of belief systems. So I can understand that you are quite a person with feelings, and you feel that how can someone be in hellfire for a long time or even for eternity for the things they do. But if you leave that bit of emotion aside and think about it, I mean, if Allah has created us for a purpose and He decides where the end is going to be based on this fulfillment of the purpose, this is what we need to think about. I mean, it's the rules that Allah has set forth based on His wisdom and His justice, and He does not commit or even be in the least of any justice. لَيْسَ بِظَلَّامٍ لِلْعَبِيدِ. Even to the least of injustice, it is totally unthinkable in the eyes of Allah, because He is al-adl, He's just. So no one will go to hellfire or remain in hellfire unless they're really deserving of it. So we have to think sometimes, some people deserve because of what they do in their stubbornness, in their arrogance. And Allah did not make them stubborn and arrogant. People make themselves stubborn and arrogant. And this is what you need to think. I mean, if people are willingly wanting to go to hellfire because of their arrogance and stubbornness, they're themselves getting into there. You can't blame Allah because of people's arrogance and stubbornness. So this is where you have to reconcile your feelings with the justice that Allah has already provided and people's own choice. If people want to choose to go into the road, blindfolded and get run over by a car, I mean, who are you going to blame? Are you going to blame the traffic laws? Of course you can't. Yeah. So inshallah, ponder on these things, and we hope that you join us again in other streams and talk to Sheikh Uthman when he comes back again, inshallah. I'm sure he will. And take the step from there. I hope this will help you. Jazakallah khairan for joining us. At least this is one step in making in that journey, in that decision, by asking those questions.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
I think you guys are doing good work. I just don't want to rush. Something I don't understand. I need to.
There's no compulsion in the deen, so no rush, bro. It's all right. There's no compulsion in Islam, so no one is forcing you, because you have to do it for the sake of Allah anyway, not because we are compelling you or we are forcing you or anything like that. But inshallah, I think the main thing is once Sheikh Uthman makes you understand, and the best thing is have a conversation. Can always go a long way. All right. Take care, Captain. Yeah. Assalamu alaikum.